her voice.
It's unbelievable.
You know, the instrument that she has, you know, the parts that she's got.
Totally.
And how she's using them is just a beautiful, beautiful thing. Hi, welcome back to our channel. We are Chase and Melia, and today we are reacting to Aina Abdul, and specifically it looks like the song Semalam. This video is actually sponsored by Rosex Omar. We're gonna link his Instagram down below. Hopefully you can check that out as well. Thank you so much for sponsoring this video. We're really excited to dive in. If you would like to sponsor a video, please check out the link down below. It'll take you to our website where you can do just that.
Semalam diri ini bagai daun gugur, lemah tak berkaki tak dipeduli. Terus engkau pergi, tinggalku sendiri, ditemani jasad ini. Berkali-kali ku coba untuk pergi jauh darimu. Setiap langkahku terhenti karena jasad ini. Engkau pergi jua, tinggalku sendiri dengan seribu jalan ungu.
First impressions.
Wow. So I would say there are moments of really incredible clarity that I'm hearing already. I can tell where the sweet spots are in her voice. But there are also some moments where I wish I was hearing something different.
Well, I don't know. I would say that, you know, 95% of that is the dynamic choice. Like, I think that's all that artistic choice of like that section of the song is just going to be really whispery and all that kind of stuff. You know, we talk about that a lot being sometimes a compromise. If you whisper, sing, or if you're trying to go for a certain sound because that communicates the emotion you're going for, that can sometimes compromise your vocal, you know, clarity and all that kind of stuff. Integrity, and your vocal efficiency, which is what we talk about all the time.
Right. Well, and maybe I'll rewind it. We'll see if you have anything else to say, but I'll rewind it and like give you an example of what I'm talking about.
Sure.
Where I feel like even within one phrase, I hear some really incredible things, and then like it's just like, to me, it's kind of like a reminder that you always have to be intentional about it. And so if you stop thinking about it for a minute, then you know what I mean? Which there are a bunch of things that are going on. So
I heard some stuff that made me really excited to hear. When she opens up.
What she's going to do. Totally. Well, how about this? Well, let's keep going and I'll point out any examples going forward.
Cool.
Terus engkau pergi, biarku sendiri, hilang sepi tak berbunyi.
Okay, so for the first like measure, that was all dynamic choices. I completely understand that. I don't think there was anything that like was lost. There's only one note that I can really hear, like the example of what I'm talking about.
Terus engkau pergi, biarku sendiri.
Sangeri. She like, that E has this like clarity. It sits right in the note. It has that open, like, I feel like I see resonance. Like, I feel like I see resonance like this.
Oh, wow.
Right? And I feel like it's like,
that's what we're,
like this, right? What is that called?
Weird hand motions.
No,
that's what I would call it.
When people see colors.
When people see colors.
No, everybody sees colors.
Synesthesia. We're so good at this.
When people
synesthesia.
When people taste colors, right?
Synesthesia.
Okay, so I feel like I see resonance. This is a stretch, guys. I'm sorry. We're going to try this one more time. Everybody sees colors.
Gosh. I'm glad you caught that because I didn't.
Because you didn't,
That's
which
how
is even
dumb
worse.
I am. I'm like, oh, yeah, you see colors.
So
wow.
I'm going to show you, like, with my hands, what I see. This is a teaching moment for everyone.
Kau pergi, biar ku sendiri.
Like,
Yeah, it opens up. It's like a...
She almost has like a different song. The E is like perfectly open.
Yeah.
And just before that
Yeah.
was not as open. Now they're different vowels, right? So it could just be the vowel. It could be like, you know what? I don't really like this vowel here.
Well, I would agree with
Yeah.
you that Bia, when
Exactly.
she's lower,
Yeah.
it's not as clear. It's not as resonant. It's, and
Feels
it's
like
something.
it's what you're talking about,
It's something that I literally struggle with all the time.
Right.
Every week, I'm working to increase my clarity through
Right.
the entire range of my voice.
Right.
And you know, she could be making that choice stylistically,
Right.
or it could also be something that she is working on or
Totally.
struggling with. We joke around and say that that's not the notes that get you paid.
Right,
Those,
right.
you know,
Those aren't the
those
notes-
aren't my notes that get me paid.
yeah.
My notes that get me paid are, you know, here to here.
And we can clearly hear the notes that get
Oh,
her
yeah.
paid.
Oh, my gosh.
Because it's like, I can tell that it's to come, and I can already taste a little bit of what she's going to do.
Taste
I can
the sound?
taste.
Oh my gosh, you do have synesthesia. Wow.
something.
I'm just excited for when she really starts to sing and you do more of this. It's just, wow, so good about it.
Okay, let's keep going.
Hilang sepi tak berbunyi.
So good.
Berkali-kali ku coba untuk pergi jauh darimu. Setiap langkahku terhenti karena jaksa ini. Engkau pergi jua, tinggalku sendiri dengan seribu jalan ungu. Mana pergi janji dulu.
Okay, now, this has gone one of two ways multiple times on the channel. I love her voice. I think it's a beautiful voice. But I do think she's working very hard. I think I think that she doesn't... in order to sound the way she's sounding, she's giving it her all.
Yeah.
And I don't think that that's 100% necessary. I mean, that's not
Right.
our vocal philosophy.
Right.
I think that she could have a little more clarity with less energy and effort,
Yes.
physical effort.
Right.
You know, it takes a lot of mental effort,
Right.
but a lot less physical effort. And I think that I just heard the amount of clarity she could have all
She
the time.
could have all the time. That's what I'm saying.
You
I feel like we're missing out on something that exists.
Oh,
that could
God,
be there.
Her voice.
It's unbelievable.
You know what, the instrument that she has, like the you know, the parts that she's got,
Totally.
and how she's using them is just a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
But I hope that you can hear this one moment that we're talking about versus the rest of her singing, even when she
Right.
opens up a bit.
Mana
That one.
dengan seribu jalan ungu. Mana
That
And it's
sounds
not just
huge.
reverb. That is
It's
not just reverb. Because here's the thing, I would say, if we want to talk about Melia's visuals, that really, to me, is like, it moves this way beforehand, right? So everything is like moving this way. So it's doing really good. Like, it's in tune. It's not out of tune.
No, sounds
but there's
great.
but what she just did moves this way. Like,
Yeah.
it's full. It's like...
You hear people talk about it's like 3D versus
Exactly.
versus watching a screen. It's like seeing something, you know, in more dimensions. It's like
Oh my
hearing
gosh.
that, hearing the depth,
All the depth,
you know,
exactly.
and
That's exactly it.
And it's just it's a big difference. And I think I really, you know, I'm impressed with her singing. She's got a beautiful voice.
Totally.
But I kind of, you know, I can hear things that I'd be like, oh my gosh, can you
more
sing
of-
like
can you
that,
do
all,
that
the time?
all the time?
What are you doing there that you're
Right.
not doing in other spots. Is it a
Right.
choice?
Right.
Because
That's
people
what I'm
talk about that all the time.
Yeah.
We assume it's people working on stuff because that's what we do. Whenever we're not singing like great, it's never an artistic
Not
choice.
because I chose to.
I artistically choose to try to sing great all the time. It doesn't always
Just doesn't
happen,
always-
but
yes.
that's my artistic choice.
Right, exactly. And it's a process, right?
It's a process.
Like this whole thing is a process.
Yeah, and that's what we're going through. So
Absolutely.
that's why we usually think that it's probably something that she's working on, or
Right.
or that they that is technique wise.
Right.
So it could be a
Wow.
a artistic choice, but I think that she's just got this amazing instrument, but she's working really hard, and I think that she could have more clarity with less effort.
And I think that that's the best way to describe like what we're talking about, because it doesn't sound bad. Well, the like you listen to that whole phrase and you guys are probably like,
Nobody
you
can
all
say
are
that sounds
crazy.
bad. It sounds
Like that
beautiful.
sounds incredible. And we're saying, yes, you were right. It does. But it could sound better.
Yeah,
like,
it could.
And there's proof. Like
Yeah.
she literally proves it.
Yeah.
That it could be even more resonant and vibrant
And we're always talking about doing things easier because we're usually
Absolutely.
doing multiple songs in a row,
Yeah.
and then multiple days in a row, and then sometimes multiple times a day.
and why wouldn't you want it to be easy?
Why wouldn't you want to, work harder, not smarter, or work smarter, not harder? Yeah, dang it, mess that one
Don't
up.
get that
Don't
wrong.
flip that one around. We're not saying that we know how to fix her with this,
Or
that,
that
or the other
she
thing.
needs to be fixed.
or that she needs to be fixed.
Yeah.
All I think about is from our perspective as performers and stuff like that. It's hard to work that hard every day.
Yeah.
And every time you sing, your voice needs to recover a bit. And so,
Right.
that's why we're always kind of fixated on singing smarter.
Yeah.
Not so much harder.
Can we just mention for one brief moment, because I feel like I need to, what is she wearing?
What don't you get about that?
Is it all, I'm excited to see what happens with it. Is it like also the background?
It is. No,
So
it's
she's
tied
connected
to
to the background.
Yes.
Okay. That hat is
Yes.
this big, if you guys
Well,
wanted to
you
see
don't want to get a sunburn.
my visuals again.
These
This is
visuals, they
how
never
big the
stop.
hat is.
They never stop, these visuals.
Let's watch the most beautiful note
Oh,
that
the
we've heard
most
so
beautiful
far.
note.
Like today. It might
And
be the
that-
most beautiful note I've heard
and
today.
that's saying something.
Because we just watched the video before this, so.
Mana pergi janji dulu, mana cinta sayangmu, mana semua itu. Mana pergi janji dulu, mana cinta sayangmu. Kali ku coba untuk pergi, jangan darimu. Setiap langkahku terhenti karena dasar ini. Engkau pergi jua, tinggalku sendiri dengan seribu jalan
Something I think she's just absolutely destroying is consistent airflow. She's people call that support, air
Right,
support,
right,
all that kind of
right.
stuff. And she's got definitely a more belty style.
Well, and so that's the thing, though. This is what I would say. I believe that it feels like maybe we didn't do our research. So we don't know if the song is hers, if it was written for her, if it's somebody else's song. We don't really know. But I would say this seems like a moment where she's trying to do something that she isn't naturally. I'm not saying she's not naturally a belter, but like, for example, I feel like when I mix, I sound weak. Okay? I feel like when I mix in my head, chest, voice, and I have what I could do all day long, which is like a pretty heavy head mix, I feel like I sound super weak. But then Chase will listen, he'll be like, that sounds great.
awesome.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah.
I feel like she might be thinking, I need to belt. I need to like force this to happen. When to me, I hear what she was doing just a measure before that was very much not belting. It was much more heady mix, and it's gorgeous.
It was
and
huge.
I
It
would
sounded-
listen to the entire song like that.
It sounded like just a whole nother level of
Oh my gosh.
resonance.
Absolutely.
You know, on
some of the most beautiful like singing I've heard. You know, honestly, like it is truly like a beautiful resonance and vibrance that I think is lost when she makes the other choice to have more of like a straight tone.
And maybe
belty.
we go back to that. Let's go back to
compare.
that transition where she switches into that part we're freaking out about. Because she adds consistently more air and gets back into the belty thing.
Yes.
And we can hear it. I'm wondering if you guys can hear it. Where at some point it stops. There's this ping or these really high frequencies that just stop being there.
Yeah.
Mana pergi janji dulu, mana cinta saya.
Listen to the
Oh my
clarity of that.
gosh.
It's so clear. It's so full. It's really it's at the
beautiful.
same time she's light.
Yeah.
And she's singing up there, but you can clearly hear her. It's not hard to hear her.
Yeah.
It's just gorgeous. So now I want you to listen for the transition as she's adding more air, getting more and more belty. She's gonna lose that clarity. It becomes a little more husky, breathy a little bit.
Right.
Pergi janji dulu, mana cinta sayangmu, mana semua itu. Mana pergi janji dulu, mana cinta sayangmu.
Still extremely impressive. Still
Absolutely.
amazing singing.
Absolutely.
But it doesn't have the same, like, one sounds to me huge.
Huge.
It sounds, really full. Like it'll bounce off the walls if you were in the room, and you could just feel it filling the entire room. And
Right.
one is going to sound, and this one, in my opinion, is probably just going to sound loud.
Right.
There's a difference between sounding loud and sounding big.
And I think too, the biggest point is it seems easier for her to do the former. It seems like she could do that all day long, and this seems exhausting. She
working
starts
for
to
it.
lose her pitch a little bit later, like as we go
You
on.
think so?
Yeah, she's a bit out of tune on that kind of like, but it's a transition.
It's a key
It's a
change,
weird key change.
we
Like,
don't
and
know.
I'm not saying like. Again, we talk about
She
this all the
can
time.
obviously sing
Being
in
out of tune is something we all do.
deal.
But what we're talking about now is why. Like, why was she out of tune there? And what could she do to be like really in tune?
Sure.
And I just see it because she does it so well just before this, you know? So let's just listen to that part, just so you can kind of hear as it continues. What do you think? Just towards the end of this phrase.
Okay.
Berkali-kali ku coba untuk pergi, jangan darimu. Setiap langkahku terhenti karena jasad ini.
That's super impressive, right?
Yeah.
That's super impressive. I think that she could have more of a like head mix there instead of such like just full on
Everything,
chest,
yeah.
because it just loses its height. I think that's what I'm seeing. It's losing its like resonance,
Ping,
its height, its ping,
clarity.
Yeah, there's just those overtones that are just missing, and I say this a lot. It sounds flat dynamically, not flat completely in pitch. Like sometimes there's
Yeah.
intonation issues, but I feel like it sounds a little bit like flat, resonant,
Not as full and vibrant.
not as full as vibrant.
Yeah.
Or yes,
Yep.
Engkau pergi jua, tinggalku sendiri. Jangan
I love that.
I know.
She's done that like once or twice. in
So
this.
impressive.
It's really good.
ibu jalan
Yeah.
there it went. Wow.
Wow.
That was really impressive.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think so. Now is the time where you guys get to tell us everything about her, because this is the fun part about this, is we react knowing absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
And then you guys get to tell us, like, is she new? Has she had a career? How old is she? I will make,
Yeah, I love learning about a new singer.
Exactly. And I'm going to make assumptions. I'm going to make an assumption she's young. And by young, I mean maybe even in her 20s. I feel like she doesn't necessarily have, like, I don't know, experience necessarily. Like, maybe this is a show.
She could be a young singer.
Like a younger singer?
It looked like a show.
It looks like maybe a singing competition or something.
Yeah.
Now, these are assumptions I'm going to make just based on what I hear, because she's obviously like done this before, and she's obviously good at it. But I would love, we've already said it 1,000 times, there are so many things that I've seen her do that I would love to see her do more.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like,
absolutely.
I would be really, really excited to hear her incorporate, you know, more of that, like, heady mix that I've heard her sing so well.
It's just all kinds of different song choices.
Absolutely.
Kind of
There's so many things,
You know, I would love to see her again.
And somebody has mentioned on our channel too, like, maybe we just don't like belters. Like, somebody said that, and I'm like, you know what? That's not a terrible, like, thing to say. I can acknowledge that well, I don't know that that's true. I do really have a great respect for people who belt. Do I think that it is the end-all most impressive thing? No, I do not. I don't think that it is the most impressive thing you can do vocally. Yeah. And that's just me.
I think for me, I have to recognize that I'm gonna have bias,
of course,
like everybody else. You know, we're all gonna have our own vocal preferences and things like that. Yeah. We're not making this channel to try to tell everybody that our way is the way. It's definitely something that we believe, that we don't think anybody else is talking about. You know, we kind of started doing these react videos because we didn't feel like other people were saying the things that we thought. So, you know, that's why we share how we feel about it. And so we're here to, you know, talk about The Voice.
Right.
We're here to exchange ideas and to
keep learning and growing.
Dive in and study. You know, I feel like I've learned and grown a lot as a singer from watching and analyzing other really great singers.
Absolutely. And we talk about this all the time, but you can always learn something from people and take really good things from them and apply it to your own technique and your own singing, which is ultimately why we want to do this, because we're singers. We assume you guys are singers. If not, like, you're listeners of singing.
We hope you'll try
exactly.
singing sometime.
And this gives you, like, tools and knowledge to be able to get better at it, which is what we all want. We all want to be better singers. So none of this is to say, like, that anybody is bad or anybody should not sing. This is just a learning experience and a way for us to kind of grow as singers ourselves and help you guys do just the same thing.
Awesome. So if you liked this video, please give it a like. And if you're new here, please consider subscribing. We make new videos about singing every single week, and we would love to have you join the channel. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you soon.